We also have tabular views for customers, leads, jobs, quotes, and expenses. The tabular views are essentially spreadsheets, and they're a very powerful way to track your information. We won't go into any more detail here. We do want to point out that these tables can be very, very useful, especially to the more advanced user. If you're worried about how much business information your employees might be able to see, don't worry, you're able to limit what they can see and do. You can set up privileges by going to the user management table, selecting your employee. Then you can assign which privileges this user has with respect to the different types of data and whether they can view, add, modify, or delete. You'll notice that this user is not allowed to do any deletion. They're allowed to view everything except for the charts. And they're allowed to add quotes, expenses, and services, and only modify quotes and expenses. They're not allowed to modify any job, customer, or lead information. And this user is only able to view jobs that he or she is personally responsible for. If we click all, this user will be able to view all jobs, whether or not they're responsible for them. And you can prohibit a user from using the Command Center entirely by turning off Command Center. So this user is able to use the mobile app, but not the Command Center. So privileges give you fairly fine-grained control over what your users can and cannot do with the WorkWell data. There are many ways to keep track of your company performance using the WorkWell Command Center. We saw in the dashboard that we have various charts and panels that keep track of important information. And charts are available in many places, including a dedicated charting page. For example, we have revenue and expenses over time. We have revenue per worker. We have revenue per service provided. We have various pie charts. For example, we can see where your customers are located. We can see what towns you're getting revenue from and how much. These charts make it very easy to visualize and understand how your company is performing. Keeping in touch with your customers is very easy and very efficient using the WorkWell email and texting features. Just click on an email link when you want to email, or on a text number when you want to send a text. Alright, so we'll prepare an email. Notice that the email composer is already set up with the to address, the from address, a label. The email itself already has a default footer. Now we can enter a unique email here, but normally what we do is we choose from a template of emails. For example, if I want to send a customer an example of our work, I already have this email prepared. So we just click on it and send. The idea is that you save emails that you spend a fair amount of work on to get just right. You add it as a template, and then in the future you just keep reusing it. So you go to the template manager here. You'd select an email that you'd already prepared, and then you send it. This is a very efficient way to keep in touch with your customers. Choose a template and send. Choose a template and send. And if you look within the email, you see that there's several items here that you don't even have to fill in. You don't have to enter the customer name, your name, company name. And there's a list of things that are supported. These are automatically substituted when the email goes out from information we already have saved in the customer database. And when the email is sent, it's automatically logged because this button is clicked. You can find the emails in the inbox. And you can find them logged with the customer. So if you open up the customer form, go to communication logs, you'll see a list of all your communications. And the email that we just sent appears at top. We can do the same with texting. So if we click on the text number, the text composer pops up, and we can choose a template. Perhaps we're running a bit late, and send that. Texting and email using this template idea is also available on the WorkWell mobile app, so you can do this in the field as well. And we can also email and text to a list of customers. Suppose I want to send an email to all the customers that I worked for in the previous week, asking them to provide a review on Yelp. To do this, I first have to create a list, and I do this by filtering the table. So at the top of the category, I'll enter residential, and in the date field, I'll enter last week. So I enter the beginning and end of last week at the top of the date column. So the result is I have this half a dozen customers that are residential that I did work for last week. Then from the Tools pull down, I select Email List, Prepare Email, and I select the template, Reviews on Yelp, and click Send. And it's that easy. And this helps to illustrate how powerful and useful these tabular views can be. When you complete a job, you may want to present the customer with an invoice. You can do this directly on your mobile app, or you can do it here in the Command Center. One way to do this is to go to the Job table, and for the job that you just completed, select View Invoice from the Options pull-down menu. This will automatically create an invoice, like you see here. The information shown in the invoice is taken primarily from your description of the job, but also from some company setup information and from some worker setup information, like the signature here. And if you need to, you can edit pretty much anything here. You can edit the customer information. You can add additional information. You can select a different worker. You can hide certain fields. So you can customize it to your needs. If you like, you can provide a background color, or remove the color entirely. When the invoice is ready to go, you click on Print Mode, and then click the Email with Link. Then when you click Send, the invoice is automatically sent as a link embedded within the email. So this is a very efficient process. Typically, you don't need to edit the invoice at all. You simply do as I showed, View Invoice, click Print, and Email.